Okay, so the question just came in. What is impulse? Um, why is it lagging? Okay, so impulse is simply the change in momentum, um, and we give impulse the symbol J. So we say J is equal to delta P, which is the change in momentum. You probably remember that momentum is equal to mass times velocity. And so mass doesn't change. So what we change when we're changing momentum is the velocity. So another way to write this is mass delta v. We can also expand that out and say that it's mass vf, which is the final velocity, minus the initial velocity. And so what we could sort of look at with this is how this relates to force, because if you remember correctly, acceleration is equal to change in velocity divided by, let's fix that, change in velocity divided by time. So if you divide both sides by time, which we can do algebraically, we get change in momentum divided by time is equal to mass times acceleration, right? Where this term here is equal to acceleration. And hopefully you remember that force is equal to mass times acceleration. So what this all boils down to is the fact that the change in momentum is equal to ma, which is force, times time. And so in plain words, what this says is that in order to get a change in momentum, which is essentially just a change in velocity, you have to take a force and you have to apply it over a certain period of time. And so this has some pretty big implications, um, insofar as like things like safety equipment. If you can either take a really big force and apply it over a short period of time, or take a small force and apply it over a long period of time to get the same change in momentum. An example of that would be, I don't know, a car, right? We have a car, pretty poorly drawn car, crashing into a wall versus a car crashing into a big pile of hay or something nice and soft. If both cars are going at the same velocity, the change in momentum is the same, so delta P is the same for both cars. But in this case, because the car is hitting a brick wall, the time is very small. So that means the force that's applied is very large. Over here, the time it takes the car to stop is very big. So we have a big time, but we have a small force. And so this here is the case that that you'd want to be in the car, because that's the safer place to be, where you have a smaller force being applied over a longer period of time. And that is impulse.